As the brake pads wear on the stock calipers on the Lectric XP 3.0, the natural tendency is to want to tighten the cable to get the pad on the left closer and closer so the brakes work again. That can get you into a very dangerous situation where you completely lose your brakes. To get the left pad closer as the brake pads wear, the natural tendency is to turn this adjuster here clockwise to loosen this bolt and pull more cable through, or to turn this adjuster counterclockwise to get more tension in the cable. Why is that dangerous? It's dangerous because there's another pad on the inside that you also have to adjust. And if you don't adjust the right pad to bring that in closer as you're adjusting the left pad to get it closer, you end up in a situation where the piston will actually pop out of position as you're cranking down on the brakes, and then you will completely lose all brake pressure. And what I've done here is I completely backed out the right pad to demonstrate what happens if you're just tightening this closer and closer and closer without adjusting the inner pad. You're going to hear the piston popping as it actually releases pressure. You hear that pop? That pop is indicating that the piston is losing pressure quickly, backing off of the disc. So in order to avoid that, as you turn this adjuster counterclockwise, pull more cable through, or use the adjuster also counterclockwise on the lever, you want to also be bringing in the right pad closer. So you do that by getting into this 5mm bolt here and turning clockwise to tighten that pad. See if we can see the pad getting closer. So now that I've brought the pad in closer, let's see if the popping still occurs where the piston is losing pressure all of a sudden. Yeah, it's still happening. So that means you still got to bring in the inner pad even closer. You want to make sure you're not getting rubbing. So now I've brought in the inner pad enough that as I tighten down on the brakes, I'm getting good braking performance, but the piston is not popping. And that's the situation you want to be in. Again, this is very dangerous because that popping you hear is actually the piston getting to the end of its travel and popping loose and releasing all pressure from the brake disc. You will feel at the lever the pop, and you will feel like you're not able to brake anymore. And this has happened to me on both the front and the rear stock calipers in different situations. Luckily, you do have two brakes, so it's very unlikely that it'll happen on both at the same time. One time it was kind of scary because I was coming down a steep hill and I had a passenger in the back, and I lost all brake pressure in the rear brake. So it looks like I overworked the rear brake. I'm getting some the piston is sticking, it looks like. I'm gonna have to look at brake upgrades if I'm gonna be riding with a passenger. But luckily I still had the front brake, which is the most important brake when you're coming downhill and with a lot of weight. So again, be very careful when you adjust your brakes. Don't just focus on tightening the cable and bringing in the outer pad towards the disc. You also have to get in here through the back with a 5mm Allen and turn that bolt clockwise to bring the right pad or the inner pad in to the disc.